This mimer, we're continuing this mimer from Tav Shin Yud Tet 1959, that the Rebbe spoke about the giving of the Torah. And in it he's explaining a midrash, an agadata from the Gemara in Shabbos. And there in the Gemara in Shabbat, it talks about the giving of the Torah, what happened when God gave the Torah. And it brings us a lot of strange stories about the interrelationship between God and the Jews at Mount Sinai. What exactly happened over there? Which, I mean, the whole idea is a pretty strange idea. There's no other religion has anything even vaguely like it. Nobody even made it up. Such an idea that God, the creator of the universe, actually has one people that are his people, and he took them all. They were all in prison, in all of them were in slavery, and they took them all. God took them all out of the slavery, a few million of them at one time, and provided them food in the desert, and then brought them 50 days later to a big mountain. And there the creator of the universe actually spoke personally to everyone. They all heard it. All the other religions are based on the revelations of one person, two people. And who knows what they saw? And what they did, who knows what they heard? And here we're saying that all of the Jewish people, without any exception, all saw and heard, panim lepanim, it says, face to face. God spoke with all of you. And they all heard and they saw God. So why did God do this? Because he wants the Torah to be in the world. The world was here with that in mind. As Rashi comments on the word Bereshit, in the beginning, the first word of the Bible, Bereshit. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. It doesn't have to have the word in the beginning. It could just say, the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. What does it have to say? Bit Reshit. So it says, Beit Reshit. The world was created with two things in mind. Two things were before the world. There was two things, Reshit, before the beginning. And that was God and that was the Jewish people and the Torah. The Torah and the Jewish people were here before the world was created. And that's the reason why the world was created, was for the Jewish people. If it wasn't for that, there wouldn't be any world. There would be no world. We'll talk about that in 1 second. Which I'm sure that most of the non-Jews would be pretty happy about if there was no world. Right? If there was no world, there'd be no suffering. All the souls would just be up in there in heaven. And they would be, basking in the rays of the Lord, or whatever they're on, in whatever particular Lord, however they define it. And there it would be. And there wouldn't be any of these problems and difficulties, and all these philosophers wouldn't have their existential questions and things like that. No world. That would be pretty good. But God did create the world. Of course, what would the enemies of the Jews say? Well, that's a pretty egotistical thing to say, that the whole world was created for the Jews. That's right. But on the other hand, if you say, listen, if there was no Jews, there wouldn't be any world, then everybody'd really be happy. Then be really happy. So you could say, because of those Jews, the whole world was created. In other words, you want the world is good or it's not good. Right? What is it? So it doesn't make any difference if you just find an excuse to just get rid of Jews. Yeah. Let's keep the world, get rid of the Jews. It doesn't matter, just love the Jews. It wouldn't be so bad if the main ones that are saying that are the Jews themselves. That's a problem. But here it is. Here is this whole world, this beautiful, amazing, complicated world, and in every detail. And according to Kabbalah and the other writings, there's mystical worlds also. There's spiritual worlds. It's all part of the creation. What's the whole world for? Like it says, for Israel and for the Torah. What does it mean for Israel and the Torah? For Israel and for the Torah to fix up the world. the Jewish people are chose to tell the non-Jews how much God loves them. He creates them. He provides for them food. He provides for them eyes and nose and mouth and protection and life. Zanim Farnis Nakol, Melech, Ozer, Moshiach, Mogain. He protects everyone. He blesses everyone. He helps everyone. Everyone in the world that is alive now, that ever was alive, it's because God has created them and God is enlivening them. So it's pretty amazing. And not only that, God gave us the biggest gift of all, and that's responsibility. We can actually serve the creator of the universe. We can actually make this creation a better place. That's what the Jews are chosen for, to tell the non-Jews. Like it said, Abraham, the first Jew, was called Avraham. That wasn't his name when he was born. When he was 99 years old, God gave him the commandment of circumcision, and then God said, I'm changing your name. He used to be Avram, now it's Avraham. He used to be called Avram, which means very high father, and an individual great person. And now you're going to be Avraham, you're going to be the father of all mankind. Because all mankind is under the responsibility of the Jewish people, namely, to tell them that God loves them, to tell them what their responsibility is, to tell them why they're here. But nevertheless, the angel said to God, don't give the Torah to Moses. Because the Jewish people, they're the chosen people, and there's these revelations, and you did all these great things for them and wonderful things, and it's not going to work. The Jewish people are not going to be impressed by all this greatness and their purpose and their job and everything like that. And the fact of the matter is they didn't. They worshipped the golden calf just a few days after they got. But nevertheless, God still has faith in us. And it says that the angels even agreed. Why? Because God said to Moses, Moses, answer the angels. And Moses said to the angels, you know what's written in the Torah? It says, I am God that took you out of Egypt. You were never in Egypt. It said, don't steal, don't kill. You fellows don't want to steal. You don't want to kill. We Jewish people have what we call the selfish inclination. You fellows don't know what selfish is. You aren't selfish. You haven't got any desire to be lazy or to be afraid or something, except for of God. So the angel said, we agree with you, Moshe. Now we like you. Now we like you. Now let's explain. The Rebbe is explaining this. What are these angels? What does it mean that the angels complained, God give the Torah to us? What does it mean? Why would they complain? What did they want from God to give them the Torah? And all of a sudden Moshe opened up their eyes about the Yetzer Hora. So the Rebbe starts to explain a little bit, and he says, listen, the whole purpose of the Torah is to serve God b'chol levavecha, to serve God with all of your hearts. Levavecha says with all of your hearts, even with your selfish impulses, Yetzer Hara. They should also be directed to totally serve the Creator of the universe and do what's right. And without the Yetzer Hora, without this selfish inclinations, there couldn't be a world. There couldn't be a purpose for the whole entire creation. That's why God made the whole thing, and that's why He gave the Torah, so the Jewish people will know what God expects from them. You know, like there's these stories, sure you've heard, of somebody finding the hidden treasure map. I don't know if there is such stories. There used to be children's stories like that. You know, Robinson Crusoe, and anyways, they found this hidden treasure, right? And they find somewhere in a bottle, he finds the hidden treasure, and there's the directions. Those stories are all true. They're all true. And then you have to look, and you have to find. You have to first of all understand what the treasure is, what the map really means, and what these points are, and what the hidden messages are. And then when you do, you get the treasure. Well, it's the same thing over here. The Torah is like a map. And the Torah leads you to the hidden treasure. What is the hidden treasure? You yourself. That's the hidden treasure. The hidden treasure is who you are. That's the hidden treasure, that God is creating you every second for a purpose. To feel that purpose, why you're here in the world, that's the biggest treasure of all. Not like the other religions say, they're fooling you if you believe in them. that the main thing is to go to heaven, etc., that there is such a thing as heaven, but that is definitely not the main thing. The main thing is right now, God personally is creating you, every single Gentile, Jew, animals. I don't think there's too many animals that are watching this program or that understand it. And that is the big treasure. And that's why God gave the Torah. Now let's see why the angels, and what are these angels, why they were so opposed in the beginning, and why they became so enthused after Moses answered them. We'll take a short break.